outside being guzzled and guzzled. I'm like, let him go, and he should have won the race, and he was a big number that day, and he won't be anywhere near that
Speaking
today.
of guzzling, there's a horse in the fourth we'll talk about that's been guzzled the last few times, and even social media was pointing it out to me last night, asking me if I picked the horse, and I laughed. I said, yep, I already picked him.
Is he a price?
9-2 morning line. That's not bad.
Well, if you hit it, maybe you'll be guzzling tonight.
Because I think the third and fourth races are really tough.
I think you got to spread a little bit, but like you said, I think you narrow it down to a free space, make the pick six a pick five. But we'll get into our picks here with 56 minutes to post. We lost a lot of scratches today, and first race, actually, there's 4 of them out in there. We'll kick things off with the pick five. Of course, this is a no carryover, but there is a force out on this. So you want to get involved today. That's a 50-cent base bet. We're kicking things off with a conditional claimer here that you don't see a lot anywhere else, but we ride them here. Horses who have not won a race on this local synthetic surface in the year, and it looks like our picks are going to be pretty close here.
Well, I don't know how you get by the 11 with all the scratches. I mean, he's sitting in the perfect post, which is about the 8-hole now with all the scratches. You know, had a trip over against much better, right? Mm-hmm. Now gets the outside, gets the kid, gets the lightweight. He's winning 20 races lifetime. I mean, all he's got to do is just point him to the wire, I think. I mean, there is just nothing like in here that can beat him that I see, unless the 5 or 6, one of them would get left and the other one make a 3-length lead. I don't know.
Well, I think that's the only way the 6 can win. It looks like he has to have the lead.
He has to go. I mean, now, in his defense, he's got 8 wins, so he likes to win. And the 5's got 15 wins, so they're no slouches. Exactly. It's just the way the race is set up. I think the old class horse on the outside should be able to, unless he's just 9 years old and he's done. That would be the only thing that could, he's just done.
Well, that was a decent race last start off the layoff here in that starter, getting beat 9 lengths. And gets the apprentice today, like you said, breaking weight. And we've seen this a few times here in the tote boards blow up. It won't blow up this time, but look at the horse's local record. 6 starts, 5 wins. Got to love the horse. In fact, I just see right now we're 11, 6, 5, same numbers. Those are 3 horses. If you're playing to pick 5.
I'm singling 11. Are you singling them?
I was going to say, if you want a single, here is a single in the early pick 5. And if you budget wants to spread just in case, those are the only other 2 horses you could add, I think.
Yeah, and I just think budget-wise, you have to spread the second, third, and fourth.
Yeah, you're spreading later, so if there's anywhere you're going to single, take a stab and shorten it up, it's here in the first. Dan and I both are on the 11 between here and Cool. Now, race number 2 starts the pick 4. It's a 14% takeout early pick 4 races 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. This is a filly and mare conditional claimer. Now, there's no scratches out of the second race. They'll go 6 furlongs. I ended up going with number 5, Lady Greatness, myself as the top pick in here. And I think Contreras has a bunch of horses in today. He's very well entered today, and I think he could be in the winner's circle a couple of times today. Then after that, I'm going to use number 4, Bruce Tooney Toss. Hasn't raced since here last year, but is one that has 5 wins over the synthetic. I'm going to throw her in. She gets a break in weight with Virginia Tormey. And then I'm going to use the 7, Medi Bemps. This horse ran a very good race last time. To be honest, the only reason I'm not putting it on top, I think, is because of the jockey.
No, I completely understand. I stared at this race for probably a good 20 minutes, just flipping a coin. Who in the world am I going to put on top?
Yeah, I got it down to 4. I went 5, 4, 7, 10. And who'd you end up putting on top?
5, 4, 7, 10. Okay, so I got the same 4 in the pick 5, and then I also have the 3 chocolate cherries in the pick 5. So I'm using 5 of them in the pick 5. Okay. The 4 you just mentioned.
And the 3?
Yeah, so 3, 4, 5, 7, and 10. I ultimately put the 7 on top. I have no confidence at all in the rider or the style this horse has to win with. Because he's going to have to come from way back, right?
Yeah.
She's got to come from probably last, I would assume, going 6 furlongs. I mean, but the speed numbers say she's going to run, the turn back, the trips over at Turfway. I mean, there's things to like. It's just I hate taking horses 6 furlongs that I know got to come from last.
Right.
But there's just not a lot in here to choose from. I don't like Mountaineer Shippers, but I had to throw the 3 in. The 10 we haven't talked about. I just threw in because of the outside post, and I thought, well, it does have some stalking races in her.
Yeah, I agree.
And I didn't know who
that
else
was
to
my
take.
Angle, plus 2 Turfway wins.
Yeah, the 2 Turfway wins, and the 4 and 5 I think are pretty obvious to use in your tickets. They've got at least some back class to them. They
Right.
both got those 50s, 60s type numbers if they can wake up. So it's one of those races where you just flip a coin. I like to just take 4 or 5 of them and hope I get the longer one.
Right.
Because I'm not going to play the double. I'm going to play the pick 5. I'm going to start the pick 4, and then I'll try to trim it in the 5th race in the pick 4. But in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th races, I am just spread like crazy.
Yeah, I'm really spread in the next race. We'll get to it. And the next race is the start of the single six, race number 3. And this is a 20-cent single six jackpot that you'll want to get involved today. There's almost like $39,000 in the pool. That's free money already in there. And you can make a pretty sizable ticket on a shorter budget. But if you're going to use any of your budget today, this is the bet you want to use it in, right?
Oh, absolutely. They got to give it away.
Yeah. It's a must-go. Today ends the holiday meet, of course, New Year's Eve.
So you're probably looking
pools
at,
go.
what do you think will be in there realistically? We're starting at what, 38?
Starting at 38. I'm going to say, though, they have to double that, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking probably 100.
Yeah.
And what
Of
is
new
it,
money?
14,
Total.
50. I think new money you'll
Yeah.
get. I just think maybe I'm the only lunatic that does this, but New Year's Eve you're going out at night, right? So you're probably getting home from work if you even worked. You're sitting on your couch. There's mandatory giveaways here in New York.
That's where you're at.
You're gonna play them. I mean, it's free money just sitting there. That's all. You're just the effective takeout's so much lower when guys do all those mathematicians on Twitter. They come up with all these formulas. The bottom line is it's a good bet.
Right.
So
I agree.
And there's a free square we've already, we'll get to in a minute, but we've mentioned them a couple times. I think you spread here, you spread in the 4th, the 5th you don't need to take too many. 6th is a single, 7th you spread, 8th you spread. The ticket's still not that much.
Right. Now,
Maybe
like
100 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take a shot. Like I said, if you don't play these at all, as a guy that comes out here every day, you play them when it's a force out.
That's what I do.
Right.
I
That's what I was getting to.
rarely play.
You rarely get in on these.
Yeah, those single 6s, rainbow 6s. I don't play from day to day. I wait until the mandatory days, and I always play. Because I think as a gambler, you have to. I mean, there's free money already sitting
Right.
there. I mean, why would you not try to go get it? Because the payouts are, the takeout's already low, and now you got the free money. The payouts are going to be double or triple what they normally would
are.
be. They're telling you to take a shot. Normally you might hit for $2,000. Now it's going to be $6,000.
Exactly.
So I think it's going to pay, because even if Ollie Wonder wins in hand, which the horse probably will, the 3rd race, we're staring at a race where our picks aren't up yet, but I guarantee you we're not the same.
Right. Well, I'm using 6 horses, so and of those
I got
six-
5.
Okay. I will tell you what I'm using. I'm using 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 11.
Well, you got the same, and then you added the 8. That's amazing that we got the same 5. And you added the 8. Why did you add the 8? Other than Jimenez, you're not allowed to say Jimenez,
Okay.
because that's a great reason.
That's probably the angle. The jockey's towards him. Plus, I do think that she is one that that will be running late, and that's the kind of horses I look for here. And the horses I kind of like, they're to the outside going the route distance, and some of them
Yeah.
have speed. So,
What do you do with Sugar Cube? I'm just blindly throwing her in just because of
Me
her
too.
past. But I mean, if there was ever an animal that looks like she's ready to be a mom,
Right.
it's probably Sugar
She's tailing
Cube.
off, slowly coming down the ladder, jamming in, and today she's back in. And now they try what? Let's stretch her out. Try one more time long. Maybe that's the ticket. But
Yeah.
you got to use her. If she shows up, she's a 17-time winner. She's not in against a whole lot. Morty has some back class on the class drop, but it's a big question mark for her too. And I think it's going to be a rider's race, and that one should show speed. Obviously, Sugar Cube coming off the short race, going long to show speed. Karamori's horse has to go.
And how tough's this race? My top pick you don't have in the top 3.
It's wide open. So
And I just threw Chipper's horse in, the 2,
I like her.
Tenacious Sally. I put on top only because of the 5 wins at Turfway.
loves Turfway.
I kept coming back to this is an impossible race. The rider is an upgrade, I think. I think that's an upgrade.
He doesn't get very many mounts, but he rides a smart race. He looks good on the horse.
Right. And this horse
There's
just,
a lot worse here.
every time she runs at Turfway, especially for the bottoms, she really runs well. And I kept thinking, if I can get 5-1, and I might try to tackle Chipper on the way into the paddock and say, is she ready? because if she's ready, hadn't been out since July.
Right.
If she's ready, I really think this is a good spot for her at 5-1. So I don't know. She's been off for quite a while, but she laid up from December to February way back last year and came back and won by 8.
Yeah, came back and run a best race on her form.
Yeah, so maybe she needed the freshening. She's dying to get to the poly. She's got several works, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 works on the form. So I would think she's ready in a wide open race.
Yeah, I agree. You said.
I'm just hoping I can get at least a $10 to $12 winner. I don't want the favorite to win this race. And who do you think will be favored? Probably the 10, Morty.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the class.
It just shows how wide open. And of course, full fields like that, your favorite usually starts around there anyway. But I mean, 4-1's the favorite. Then right after that, you go straight to, another 4-1, then 6-1, and then they're spread out. There's several 5-1s, but it's a wide open race. Like you said, 10-11-3 for me. You're going 2-10-11, but we're both adding 5 and 6 horses to start this thing.
Right. I just don't want to be out after the first race in a wide open race, and especially even in my pick 5s, I'm using the same 5 horses.
Right.
And I might just throw in your 8 just so I don't have to listen to you tomorrow. And I told you to put him in, so I'll probably add the 8 in there too, and make it 6 of them. But I think we got the race covered with that.
Yeah,
I hate to say it like that, but
well, I agree. And
this is a spread race, and so's the 4th. Don't you think the 4th is a spread race? I mean,
depending on your budget, yeah, I can make a case for a lot of horses in the 4th. And
I do like a horse in here, though.
Okay, well, we'll get to that right now. 4th race, maiden 2-year-old special weight, 46,000 to go 6.5 furlongs. The only scratches in there right now are the AEs, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, the AEs, and then the 2 should be listed as a first-time gelding. And Son of Gaga is a first-time gelding. Who's the horse you like in here?
Okay. I like the 8, High Holy.
Me too. Look.
There goes our price.
Tell us why.
Well, if you're a replay watcher like I am, and you go back and watch, and hey, I know there's people that think Julian LeProux is the greatest rider in Kentucky. I don't agree with that.
What's his nickname in the VIP room?
It's the Strangler.
Okay.
So it was the Kentucky Strangler, and then we shortened it to the Strangler. And if you go
That's
back,
easier to yell.
And if you go back and watch these 2 races, he absolutely guzzled this horse. I mean, he was choking the life out of this horse down the backside.
I've never seen a short comment that says steadied entire back
so
that shows how bad it was.
Have you ever seen a DRF comment or any kind of comment in any forums, that's like that?
It had to be bad. Them guys are good. So I remember the race. I didn't go back and watch it, but I do remember it. But that's.
I mean, the Briz guys, the DRF guys, the Thorough guys, these guys never make comments like that.
So that shows how bad it was.
And it was that bad. I mean, just choke. And then, so I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just the style they want this horse to run, and they were trying to teach him. I don't know. All I can tell you is the Churchill form translates here, that 58, 56 numbers, the Brisbire numbers, I mean, that's going to be on the wire here.
Right.
So I think he sits mid-pack. Rocco lets him go down the outside, and I think we got a big chance at $11 winner. I wish you wouldn't have picked him, because now we're probably going to get a $6 winner.
See, we never get together and talk. That's the beauty of this show. We both have our own opinions and our own angles where we get to. A lot of the time, especially here, our handicap is pretty much on a similar base with post positions, track biases, and
riders,
we're both kind
trainers.
of So we're always kind of thinking the same. And I myself am a trip handicapper too, so that jumped off the page at me. I remember that race, but I went back and watched the race at Keeneland because I didn't remember, and the horse had a kind of bit of trouble trip then, but I thought, maybe that was the day watching the race. Okay, they're going to teach you something this race next time, and that's why I ended up on the 8 High Holy, same exact reasons. After that, I went to the 11 Shanghai's Dream, and this one has some consistency in his form, has yet to win, obviously. Hopefully the 7th starts to 1 for Steve Asmussen, but his barn hasn't been up to his normal standards here. And
Yep.
I don't know what kind of stock he left either, but, when you see 1 win from 10 starts from him, that's not normal.
Right.
So, but this horse is well placed. I don't know. You can make a case for a number of the horses. On my ticket, I'll probably have to shorten up a little bit in here, but after that, I went for the 3 Prince Jerseytown. The horse has been 3 times second. Now 2 of them were at Belterra, but a decent one at Indiana. And who after that? Denzik. I don't like to leave Denzik off. He's second start horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's the other ones you're going to spread in here with? Probably the Maker Firster.
I've got the
Hernandez?
8, 10, 11, 12 because the 13's not in, right?
No,
The
13 and 14
out.
are out.
So 8, 10, 11, 12 is who I was going to use. I just went to the outside horses just based
Well,
on, like we talk about,
6.5
track
distance.
bias, 6.5, lean to the outside. And with the 11, also a turnback. Does have those 60s numbers that puts him fast enough to win. Now, can Leon sit mid-pack, blast home on the outside? He is 2 for 50. But I just watched a 2 for 50 rider at Gulfstream win 3 in a day the other day. Meneses win 3. He was 2 for 50. So it can happen. The horse fits.
Yeah, he does.
And he's going to be a decent price.
The guy's good with 2-year-olds, especially because he's 2 wins from 9 starts here, and
the 12's just a guess for me.
that's Maker Firster. He's got a good work. Most recently fired a bullet.
Yeah, I just didn't want to get beat with a first-time starter, a Maker.
Yeah.
In the outside post with Garcia with a bullet work, and I don't
get it.
take him. I'd look like an idiot. So
Right.
I just throw him on the ticket. 8, 10, 11, 12 for me in there.
Right. I agree. There it is. That's the 4th race, good quality maiden 2-year-old special weight. That's the second leg of the single 6 and the next to last leg of the pick 4 and 5. That brings us to the featured race of the day, the 24th edition of the Prairie Bayou Stakes, a $75,000 guaranteed stake event to go a distance of 1 mile and 16th. We did lose a couple of horses in here. In the stake race, take out the 7-9-13. 7-9-13 are all scratched. And we speak about this a lot. Any race you want to be right here at the track at Turfway, it's the 5th. Of course, we want to be right in the 3rd and the 4th because of the single 6. But this race, I got it narrowed down to 3 horses for me. And if one of these, I guess you could use 4, 1, 2, 3, and 8, I think.
Yeah.
But those are the only 4 for me that I believe I'll use in the
Is there
6.
any way the 10 could go wire
1,
to
2,
wire and pay $40?
I don't think so, only because Cipriano Contreras has the horse that we both have picked on top. That horse needs some pace. Well, guess who draws in off the AE? A Cippy Contreras horse that has speed. So I think this horse is going to go. I think the horse was entered to be a rabbit just on paper. I'm sure he expected Lanier to be in the race, so he thought he would have speed, so he put him in. He did draw in. Hard to be good's going to obviously go. But I think Driven to Compete is in there to soften it up. Now, Flower Pecker shows speed going short, obviously going route. I think he'll be closer to the
Yeah,
pace.
you would think he'd go. Royal
Does he have the
Mesa
class
figures
Indiana
go,
bred to
though.
hang with these kind of horses? I don't think so. But I see, Hard to be good how he will be on the lead. But I think that the 14 is going to be right in his hip pocket every step.
I agree. And you know how as you're reading a form, sometimes you see a horse and they beat you out of a bunch of money, and I just started stabbing the page.
You have to. Yeah.
I was stabbing the page as soon as I saw Louder Than Bombs. Back at Keeneland, I needed this even money Chad Brown on the grass, ridden by J.J. Castellano, to just annihilate the late pick 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm. Didn't happen.
This horse,
guy got you.
look at this horse, never made the lead in his life. All of a sudden, somehow makes the lead at Keeneland at 19-1. Castellano's sitting 5th in a death grip. He rolls up 3 wide on the turn on the turf at Keeneland like they all do, right?
Right.
He gets even as they straighten. He's looking through his legs. He's doing the pocket.
Not even worried about the one
He's
in front
looking
of
through his legs. He's going like this, going like this. I'm like, I got this. This is an easy winner. I'm thinking, I have my singles home. I already caught a $50 horse. This is going to be a big, big hit. He never went by. This horse dug in and fought all the way down the lane and won one of them head bobs where he just happened to have his head down and got that perfect bob to knock me out of everything. Wow. But I didn't forget that to where this horse has some guts because that brown horse is a nice horse. And then he come back in a race he had no chance in. He only got beat 3 lengths.
You're talking about the Commonwealth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last race, I mean, from the 12 hole, dead last as they turn the bend, runs second, beats the entire field except for the loose winner that we all bet on that night.
Right.
So Louder Than Bombs has a big chance in here. I can't leave the 3 out of my tickets. I'm 1, 2, 3.
8.
If you got the 8, I get it. My budget, I was just trying to keep it, 100 or so. So I didn't use the 8. I like Guest Suite the best.
Me too.
Same thing. I think he finally got a trainer the last couple starts. You know, he had no trainer for the first 15 races of his life. Now he gets a trainer. Then all of a sudden he starts, you know, boom, he starts to run. 92 Beyer, 95 Beyer. He's right there.
Yeah.
Now, the thing I didn't like is Louderton Balms beat him and had a worse trip.
Right.
So, you know, I think those two you got to take. Patriot Drive's one of them honest horses that always runs if he's at the right level. He's 1 for 1 on the synthetic. He went easy, he aired him at Arlington on the synthetic in September 2018.
Yeah.
So I just use those three.
I get it.
I'm hoping I can, you know, catch something in the second, third, or fourth. I think we'll be 3 to 1, 2 to 1, 4 to 1, something in there with all them horses. I don't think anybody will be a big favorite in there. Do you?
No, I think it's those 3 you spoke about, and then the 8 big dollar bill. I think they'll all be right in there. It's between them 4. Anybody other than those wins, I'm out. And I just thought it set up for a horse with a late running style like Guest Suite. Like you said, the 3 did beat him last start and had a worse trip. Now you go from, on Guest Suite, you go from Ramos, who rides this track very well, riding good, to a journeyman, but I don't know that it's an upgrade. I mean, Del Cruz is 1 for 44 over this track.
That's crazy to me because he can ride. I mean, he's been around a long time. He's had good, successful meets around the country. I'm shocked that he's 1 for 47.
But sometimes we see guys that don't ride this track as good as others, and you know, guys that are like more of really speed riders. You know, I think if a track speed Holden, he's a guy you want to use in your ticket. When a horse has to be taken off the pace and you know, where it's a rider's race or a big, good, strong finisher, in my opinion, I don't think he's the guy.
Now, there's one horse we haven't mentioned that's going to be 30 to 1.
Is this a race that you were talking about earlier? Or was that
No,
before?
this is the 5th race here. I'm not using him, but he's one of my favorite horses because I've won so many bets with him. Pikachu. Yeah. I mean, this horse, I don't know what he's just been lucky for me. Kentucky Downs, I needed him that day for a big hit, and I never even had to sweat. I just sat there and chuckled the whole race. He just went in a complete gallop. Yeah. And he wasn't a big favorite. He was 5 to 2 that day, and I needed him. I singled him in a bunch of races and had to pick 5 go on and everything. So he ran in the 10th race at Kentucky Downs, but I think I know what level that horse is, and I don't think he's good enough to win here.
Forward.
Yeah, but I mean he will run his race. He's gonna sit mid-pack, and
he's one you'll use if you're playing tries and supers.
Oh yeah, I think he's got a big shot to hit the board because Johnny's going to try hard. You know, Johnny always tries hard. He's going to try hard. He's, you know, and the horse is honest. I don't know. Maybe he wants longer. I think probably he wants longer than this and a little bit less class. But he's such a neat horse. I mean, how do you not like a horse like that just runs all day long, 10 wins, 3 at Turfway? I mean, he's won 8 races this year.
Right.
I mean, these owners, that's $128,000 for just a nice little claiming horse. I mean, I wish I could get one of my 3 horses to run. I just wish we could get them in the gate.
Yeah.
Now, finally, Steely Danza ran the other day and ran a big-time second. I'm in with the Brilliant Racing partnership with some of the guys from down at Churchill and stuff. And it's a fun experience just being – even if you only own a toenail.
Piece of it, right.
I mean, I basically own a toenail. But it's fun because I got several other buddies that own. They're all calling me and, hey, when's he in? Where are you going to go? I'm like – I can't get to the fairgrounds right now, but you know, it was. And then when he roared, did you watch the race?
No.
So the big favorite, it's sloppy. It's just horrible out. And he pops the gate, and there's 100 to 1 in front. He's 12 to 1 sitting second. The favorite's probably about 5th on the outside, but it's sloppy. The long shot caves in, and now we turn for home, and we're in the lead. I mean, I mean, it's just I got goosebumps,
right.
You know, watching the race, and I own this much of him. I was like, I can't imagine owning a horse turning for home in the Derby or the Jeff Ruby, or I would go crazy. You know, so it was so much fun just to be involved, and for people that are looking to do something like that. I mean, these kind of
minimal investments.
Oh, it's awesome for a couple bucks. I mean, it's just an awesome experience, and just to be part of it and to know that here's this big gray that we've had some issues with in the morning trying to just get him to the races, and now he's here, and now he runs. I think it was like an 80-something Briz and a 70-something Beyer. I mean, in his first start as a baby, you know, people were actually calling our partnership wanting to talk to us.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute. You know, we just thought we had this little, we're just hoping he breaks his maiden, you know, but now we think, wow, now we might have a pretty decent horse on our hands. So now the excitement goes through the roof. And we also own Template, he's the favorite. Saturday, I think it is, at the fairgrounds on the rail. So it's just a fun thing to do, to be involved like that. So
Yeah, it is, and like you said, the camaraderie, and you get your buddies. Like you said, you might not go to fairgrounds, but if you're here, or some people that may be involved, you guys come out here and you root, you gamble, you have a great time.
we went
and
up
then
to
you come back
Indiana
for another
Downs.
one.
We rode up to Indiana Downs when Template ran up there.
Ran
and
second
ran a
that day,
good,
right?
solid second. Looked like he was going to win. The rider followed Brandon's instructions. Hey, don't be lazy with him. Get him out of the gate. Popped him out. He went right to the lead. And then the other favorite from Maker, you had to ship him up there, didn't you? The Maker horse nailed us
But
on the
you
wire.
guys almost made a big score that day, right? Wasn't there like $100 horse in the pick 3 or something? Or
Yeah, $100 horse in the pick 3, and we blew the other race.
have that one?
Had the all for the $100 horse. If Template wins, and then we blew the other race anyway, thank God. But yeah, I mean, if Template would have won, we'd have really been nervous, because we'd have probably had the whole pool on a couple different horses.
Oh, that's fun.
But yeah, that's a fun thing.
Well, hopefully those horses run good for the partnerships, and I'd love to see those. It's getting a lot of people in the game that normally, couldn't afford to get in the game, and maybe have a little luck and success. So
I think we got about, I want to say 5 or 6 guys from the northern Kentucky area that are in on
Really?
on these horses. Yeah,
Nice.
All good guys that come here and bet, and that's the way you got to do it anyway. It's more fun that way, I think.
I agree.
Now, I'm not a billionaire that can just buy his own, but I think it's. I actually think I'm one of the few people, and you see me in the back room. I like splitting tickets with guys too. I think it's more fun.
me too.
Some guys are like, why you do that? You don't need to do that. Who cares? It's more fun. If somebody says to me, hey, I'll split this ticket with you, I rarely say no. Oh, yeah, sure, here you go.
Well, let's put together one when we come back, because we're going to take a break right now. 30 minutes of post. We're going to pause here, and we're going to honor America. So we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Good afternoon, racing fans. Welcome to Turfway Park for a wonderful afternoon of horse racing here from Florence, Kentucky. 8 races on the card, highlighted by the featured 5th. That's the 24th edition of the $75,000 guaranteed Prairie Bayou Stakes. Goes as race 5 at 3:04. So New Year's Eve day racing here at the track, 27 minutes to post. And if you'll take out your programs, I'll give you today's late program changes. Just a reminder, all pools must go out today, force out pools here, with it being the final day of the 2019 race season. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow here at 1:10 to start things off. First race, number 2 Par, has been scratched. First race, scratched the 2 Par. Overweight on the 3, Darwish, the jockey 3 over. Scratch number 7, J-Rock. Jockey change on the 8, G.J. Buster to Fernando de la Cruz. Scratch number 9, Serve. Scratch number 10, Old Timers Day. First race, 2, 7, 9, 10. All out. Second race, start of the early pick 4, no changes. Race 2 is clear. Third race, don't forget the single 6 jackpot wager. It's a force out, must go payout, 20-cent base bet. carry over almost $33,000 in free money. Couple of changes. Number 2, Tenacious Sally. The rider is 3 pounds over. Scratch number 6, Southern Ruffles. Scratch the 12, Triple Kapalua. Beware the 13 draws in, will race. In the 4th race, please be aware that number 2, Son of Gaga, has underwent the utmost equipment change and has been gelded. First time gelding number 2, Son of Gaga. Scratch 13 and 14, the AEs. Again, the AEs both out. 5th and featured race, the Prairie Bayou Stakes. Start of the late pick 4. 3 scratches. Take out number 7, Blue Ridge Traveler. Number 9, Dabo. And the 13, Antrim's Giant. 5th race, scratch 7, 9, 13. Please beware the 14 draws in, will race. Jockey change to Sunny Leone. 6th race, jockey change on the 6 Bahama Channel. Make the rider Julie Burke. Julie Burke picks up the 6 Bahama Channel as Declan Cannon off all mounts today. 7th race, start of the late double. Scratch the 1 Convict Pike. Number 1 Convict Pike is scratched. 8th and final race. There's a small carryover in the Super High Five of $763. That pool will go as well. That's a $1 base bet. And in the 8th race, scratch number 4, Kim Mann. Those are the changes. Any additional changes coming in throughout the balance of the card, I'll get those to you as they do so. First post in 25 minutes. Welcome back to the Odds Couple Show, race fans. Jimmy McNerney alongside Dan Cronin. We got through the first 5 races prior to the break, and we kept talking about our single of the day in the single 6, and that's in this race.
Yeah, I don't know how you get by Ollie Wonder. The numbers are just so much better than the rest of the horses. Can go to the lead, doesn't need to lead.
No.
You know, I don't know what Jimenez will do. Will he just send out and say, I got the best horse, it doesn't matter, I'm gone? Or will he try to take back, get off the fence, sit in a 3-path on the backside and win it that way? I'm not real sure.
I'm not either. I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters unless he would somehow get this horse trapped on the fence. I just don't know. I mean, the numbers, I'm a numbers guy. I know you are too. Yeah. And there's nobody within 10 lengths of him on paper.
No.
So I don't know how the horse gets beat.
I don't either. And, and like you said earlier, whatever number guy you are, if you're a Briz, if you're a Rag, if you're Thoroughgraph, Trainer Day, all those he stands out. He's heads and tails above this field. And Ollie Wonder 7-5, rightfully so on the morning line. That's my single in the single 6 and the pick 4s. And
now what's incredible is look at his odds his first 2 races.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
I couldn't believe the horse is that big of a price at Belterra coming from a barn like this. Now we've seen this owner-trainer combo team up for a couple wins already here at the meet, and one of them was the other night, paid $100-something. But
I mean, 25-1 his first start at Belterra.
That's almost impossible. Now I could maybe see it at Churchill.
Churchill in a big-time optional 75. I mean, those are real horses.
Yeah.
That whole field was. He only got beat a length.
And he was the best that day.
He
was the best.
He was
and I needed him in the late pick 4, the late pick 5. It blows up if he wins. And he should have won. He was much the best. And I think he's much the best today, and he's well drawn on the inside of the mile distance, like you said. If he needs to go and play catch me, if he can, I think they can. If let speed go, come back, go around, he can do it too. I think he has enough force beneath him, and in a field that I don't think is really as loaded as talent as his last race was.
Yeah, I mean the 2, 3, and 6, I guess, got a little chance. The 4 and 5, I don't think have any chance. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he just. That there's people out there that just every single favorite they're against, and those people will be against this horse, and that's fine if that's the way you play. But this is one of those favorites that I just don't see how you get past them. You just single him, try to hit the pick 6 with him. It doesn't matter because if you catch a price somewhere else, it's not going to matter. So, I mean, I guess you could try to get the whole pool by taking the 2, 3, 6 and hoping the one loses. But then who are you going to single off of?
You're going to have a monstrous ticket because it's a wide open sequence.
Or you just got to get lucky with
Right.
whoever else you single, because there's no other obvious singles but him.
Right. So that's Ollie Wonder. He's a originally son of Will Take Charge for Stanley Bergman and Paulo Lobo. They've teamed up a couple times to win at the meet, and all their wins at the meet have been with 2-year-olds. He's our top pick. We both used the 3 Life on the Road for second, and the 2 Artemis Eagle for third. That's the 6th race. Ollie Wonder is our hope and prayer for the day.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is, right?
Ollie Wonder wins, and if we get lucky in the other ones,
then I can spread to the gills in the other races.
go out 2019.
Well, people say all the time, well, you can't win with odds-on favorites. I will welcome you to see my history of my account. Every big hit I've had was pick 4s and pick 5s has had a single, and most of the time they're odds-on.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I just caught a $100 horse. I caught a $60 horse in the other races, and it paid $20,000, $25,000, $40,000. I mean,
That's how you get lucky. That's how you get to the horses that you normally are not going to get to.
Yeah, you can't get to those other ones.
You have to have a single. And I understand the people that are against favorites, but you have to take and like you just said, some of my biggest scores are the same way too. Same way. Pick 5 I hit last year, the big one, same way. A couple of pick 4s, over the years. Like you said, you're not going to get to the horses if you don't. And
right.
In a wager like this with the free money, he was the most logical winner in the entire card. He happens to be in the single 6 where it's a force-out pay. I'm all over him.
Yep.
So
now who are you going to take in the 7th and 8th? Because they're wide
So
open.
7th race, I would use as many as I could. In fact, in the pick 4 that we're going to give out later, I'm using 6 of them. In the single 6,
6 of the 9.
pardon me?
6 of the 9 horses. Well, actually,
Yeah.
there's a
In
scratch.
the pick 6, we're
6
using
of the 8.
Yeah, we're using 2, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I end up going with the 2 on top, Father G. Drury has 2 in here. I think either one of them can win. On paper, numbers-wise, I think Father G's a little bit better. Third beaten 5 lengths in the first level allowance race at Churchill Downs. And this one's coming into a non-3 allowance here. Is another one that I think is versatile, drawn to the inside. Could show speed and go, but don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's one of the most likely winners, I guess. I mean, I don't know if he's got the class of some of these other horses, but he's getting better. He's a young horse, only run 3 times. He's never been on the poly, but Street Boss is fine for poly, so I don't see any reason why the horse shouldn't run. I got the 2, the 4, the 7, the 6, 7, 8, 9, so I'm probably just going to hit the all button in here.
Yeah, because I tell you what, there's one you're leaving out that the horse, last year when this horse won on debut, we're talking about the 5 Elgar, I thought he could be any kind of horse. Went off 22-1 that day, and then came back, thought enough of that, ran on the rush away, had a terrible trip, and then was off until, that was an 18, off until last year, and came back in a allowance race, was third beaten 7 lengths. The horse was then, after this meet, transferred to Bill Mott. Mott had this horse, and
So they obviously thought something of him.
Yeah.
And Mott's not going to take a bump.
no, and the horse likes this track. Now, the race last start, it was a 2 other than optional 40, much tougher race than a non-3 restricted allowance. Only got beat 4 lengths. I think the horse is one that will benefit from the route distance. I think the horse is a winner here at the track, and if you're going to find a long shot you want to add in, this was the race. And the more I looked at it, after I liked him, I'm like, I was trying not to use Wesley, but it's Wesley, it's Turfway.
All button.
Barely won at Belterra. Those are lesser races in here, but how do you leave them off? If you're going to use 6 of the 8, you might as well get the other 2 so you don't.
And like you said,
If your budget allows.
and a couple of these horses that are going to be long shots got a chance. That the 7 Westerland's got a chance. It's Maker. Those are New York races that are way better than these races. I mean, Devamani, Red Right Hand. I mean, those
are loaded races.
Those are serious horses. So I don't know. Westerland might run last, or he might wake up and run. So you might have a $25 horse. And if you use 6 of them, don't use him, you're going to be really mad at yourself. So I'm just hitting the all but. I have no opinion in there. I always categorize races as attack or spread. And if it's spread, I'm going to spread as much as I can with whatever bet I'm making.
Right.
And if it's the all button, it's the all button. I don't. Some people say, well, that's not handicapping. To me, that is handicapping. Because
You got to be right in the other races.
well, 1 times
you
8
go short. It's the
is
same as
cheaper than 4 times 4, right?
Yeah.
It's cheaper than 3 times 4. And I got a chance to hit something big if I'm right. So that's the way I always play it, and that's the way I'll continue to play, and I'm going to play the pick 6 like that. Now, the 8th race, what are you thinking in here? I think this race is impossible.
Well, it's one that you'll need to spread to if you can. In the pick 4, I'm using 7, 8, 10, 11 just because I can spread a little bit more, and I'm not super confident. Although I did use the 11 on top, I think those are the 4 horses, 7, 8, 10, 11. But Go for Sherry has won 2 in a row. Those races don't count against him, rather, because they were for the $4,000 level. So this race is for horses that have won a race in a full calendar year. Runaway winner, does have speed, though. I'm really not a speed guy here at this track, but I think the horse may have a little pressure.
And the Mountaineer form, too. I just...
We might be able to go the lead and win at Mountaineer.
I mean, I put this horse on top, and I was mad at myself the
Well, look
whole
at the
time I
field.
was doing it. But yeah, you just
I
look
kept
at the
trying
rest
to
of
go
the
to plain
field, and I
tails.
don't know. I got 7, 8, 11 in my pick 6 because you just, I mean, I can't take all,
Yeah.
you know, I can only afford so many. So 7, 8, and 11 are my 3 in the pick 6.
And for those same reasons, it's why when I kept looking at 7, I'm like, nah, I have to go the oven. Plain Tails, 3-time Turfway winner, Dougie Coyle and McKee. They've teamed up to win a couple times with a filly this year. They beat me twice. Once at Keeneland with her, and they come back and beat me at Churchill. And then she run here and she won again the other day in a starter, which...
And the works say she's ready. She's ready. I mean, the works are telling you that she's ready.
Yeah.
She's got a great post to just sit outside, blast home. And in the 8, like you said, I think the 8 can sit right behind the 7.
He's another one coming in from West Virginia.
I know.
I have a price horse in here.
Okay, tell me who it is.
Number 10.
Okay.
Born in Nixa.
I'm trying to make a case for him.
Okay.
Okay, why, other than the 10 hole, which is great.
Well, 10 hole drawn to the outside. Now, that last race was 5.5 furlongs. Today, 6 furlongs. In my opinion, you get a better jockey change. You get a break in weight. You're going to have a race where potentially could have a certainly fast pace. Ken Cave, drawn to the outside, getting a break in weight. I think the horse can close. Now, the horse, if you throw that last race out, that horse fits with these.
Yeah, all
Even
those,
though he was
all
7
those
beating 8 lengths,
mid-50s and 60s
those numbers
fit.
stack up. So
Yeah.
I thought for a price, Joseph Ramos riding very well at the meet. The horse did have a trouble trip last start. He's pinched back in the start, so he's further back than normal. I think you have to use the horse at 12-1 in a race that I don't think is
And that's the
very
one
deep.
that's going to be 3 times higher than the other ones, too, on the will pays. If
See, I'm
you're
throwing
lucky-
the inside horses out. If the 2 had the outside post, I may use them.
I'm the same way. The 1 and 2 I would really have to go deep to get to the 1 and 2. Now in the pick 4 I can,
Right.
But in the pick 6 I just can't. So yeah, the 1 and 2 are out because of the post, connections, riders, stuff like that. If they beat me, they beat me.
Right.
I'm going to the outside, and I'm going with what's most logical at Turfway, the outside horses, and I could see throwing the 10 in because they're outside. I can't throw the 9 in, so I'd go 7, 8, 10, and 11 if you can afford it. I'm going to go back and check and see if I can add the 10. And if I can, I might be asking people to split.
Yeah. Well, is BB here today?
He wasn't there when I was down there, but I'll bet he shows up.
He'll be here. He'll be taking it from the window
The
to the wall.
banker's here. He's got plenty of
There we go. So the banker's down there waiting on you. The horses are in the paddock waiting for the orders from the paddock judge, Ron Anthony of Riders Up. Single 6 force out. Carryover today, shy of $33,000. You want to get involved. Hope we've helped you out on your tickets, and have a great afternoon.